boys, now we are going to start the Tempest English 2. Today is Thursday. Now you see the date, 27th, 8, 2020, class 11, the Tempest, Act 1, Scene 1, line 51, page number 26. Now say here, page number 26. I suppose you have read the, you can say, story. If you be thorough with the story, if you know the story, it will be easy to understand the play. Here language is difficult. Here it is a Shakespearean language. So it is not said straight away or in modern English. See here, page number 26, Boswell. What Boswell says? What must our mouths be cold? So here, Boswell officer, he says here, are we going to meet our death now? Are we going to meet our death now? What must our mouths be cold? So if you keep disturbing, he is shouting at the passengers, he is shouting, I can say, at those people, Sebastian and Antonio and Gonzalo. Okay, so here see, Gonzalo and others, they come, so he is shouting at them. Now see what he says here. Gonzalo says, so he is telling that, okay, what are we going to meet our death now? Gonzalo says, the king and prince at prayers. Now the king, here the king is Alonso, and prince, Ferdinand, all they are kneeling down and they are praying to the Lord. Let's assist them. Let's do the same. Let's do the same. We too should kneel down and pray to the Lord, because our lives, like theirs, are in danger now. Our lives are also in danger, like their lives. Their lives means Alonso's life, Ferdinand's life, and others. So they are kneeling down and praying to the Lord. Now Sebastian says, I am out of patience. Now Sebastian, what he says, I am feeling utterly desperate. I have no you can say, hope at all. So I am feeling utterly desperate. I am out of patience. Now Antonio says here, we are merely cheated of our lives by drunkards. Antonio, you can say, becomes angry and he says, we are cheated by these drunkards, these crew members, mariners, and this boatswain officer, and so on. So we are merely cheated of our lives by drunkards. These mariners, this you can say, here those who are controlling the ship, they are the drunkards, and we are going to be, of course, going to be drowned. So we are merely cheated of our lives by drunkards. So we are going to be utterly deprived of our lives on account of the inefficiency of these drunken members of the crew. In other words, these drunken members of the crew are, I can say, inefficient to control the ship, and ship is going to be drowned, and along with the ship we too will be drowned. Then here, this wide-chapped rascal, he says here, this wide-mouthed rogue, this wide-mouthed rogue is to be blamed for this impending disaster. Impending disaster means you can say here misfortune, or you can say ship is going to wreck because of this wide-mouthed rogue. Would thou mightest lie drowning? He says, he is addressing the officer. Wide-mouthed, you can say, refers to boatswain. Boatswain is officer. So he says, addressing the officer. What he says here? I wish, and say, you were to lie drowned. So he says, I wish, you can say, you were drowned and die in the, you can say, in the ship. You are, can say here, you die and get drowned. So, would you mightest be drowning? He says here, I wish you to lie drowned. I wish you get drowned and die. The wishing of 10 tides, he says, so I wish you were, you can say, lie drowned in the ocean till your, you can say, corpse, dead body has been washed 10 times, okay, by the ebb and flow, by the ebb and flow of the tide. So there inside the ocean, there is also, you can say, tide. So he wishes, you can see this wide mouth, this row, that refers to officer, boatswain. So here see Antonio wishes him to, you can say, lie drowned in the ocean and get, you can say, your dead body was washed with ebb and flow. Now Gonzalo, I said he shall be hanged yet. Now Gonzalo says he shall be hanged yet. That boatswain, officer, will be hanged. Generally, a man, you can say, is hanged on the gallows, and gallows will be available only, you can say, on the land, not, you can say, in the ocean. So he says he will be hanged. That means he will not get drowned, and he will, you can say, take us. He will take us to the seashore. He will take our ship to the seashore, and we will survive. And there, if you can say he is going to be hanged, he will be hanged on the gallows. Okay. Now see here. Though every drop of water swear against it. See that every drop of, you can say, water of the ocean swears, no, he will be drowned in the ocean, he will not be hanged, you can say, on the gallows on the dry land. I will not accept. And gap at the widest to glut him, and where to open, you can say, its mouth as widely as it can to swallow him. And each drop of, you can say, water opens, you can say, its mouth to, you can say, swallow here boatswain. I will not accept that, okay, he will be drowned and the mouth of the water will swallow him, will swallow boatswain, officer. I am sure he will, you can say, die on dry land on the gallows. A confused noise within. All the passengers are, you can say, of course, confused. There is convulsion, shaking of the ship, left and right, up and down. So nobody has, you can say, a peace of mind. They are much, you can say, disturbed. So what he says here, mercy on us. He says, may God have mercy on us. We are split. He says, we are going to be dashed to pieces. Our ship, you can say, is being pushed, you can say, in one direction, and it is going to, you can say, collide against a rock, and it will, of course, wreck. It will get wrecked. So we are split. So we are going to be dashed, you can say, to pieces. Okay. Now see what it says here. Yes, farewell, my wife and children. It says here, yes, now you can say it is going to be dashed. Our ship is going to be dashed to pieces. Then see what it says here. Farewell, my wife and children. He says goodbye. Goodbye, my wife and children. Goodbye, my wife and children. Okay. Farewell, brother. Goodbye, brother. We are split. We are going to be wrecked. We are going to be killed. We are going to be destroyed. Exit boatswain. Boatswain leaves the stage. Now see Antonio. What Antonio says. Let's all sink with the king. He says, let's all sink together in the water, in the ocean, along with the king. Now you can say, in other words, let's all, you can say, perish in the sea, in the king's company. Let's all of us perish. Perish means die in the king's company. Now Sebastian, what Sebastian says, let's take leave of him. He says, let's bid farewell to the king. See there, farewell, bid farewell to the king means, of course, formal leave taking. As if, you can say we are going to be separated for a long time. Okay, we are going to meet after this, after a long time. So let's all sink with the king. Okay, then say, let's take leave of him. So let's, you can say, bid farewell to the kings. Let's bid farewell to the king. Exeunt Antonio and Sebastian. Antonio and Sebastian exeunt. They leave the stage. More than one person leave the stage. There exeunt is used, and if one person leaves the stage, exit. Now see what Gonzalo says. Now would I give 1,000 furlongs of sea for an acre of barren ground. Now see, you can say here, he says, I will give 1,000 furlongs, almost you can say 1,000 miles on the ocean for an acre of barren land. If someone gives me an acre of barren land, then I will give 1,000 furlongs on the ocean. He wishes only that I will give this much, you can say, of land, you can say, in the ocean, if I get 1 acre of land on the dry land. Long heath, even that dry land is full of long heath. Long heath you have, of course, you can see here heath and you can say here goats, plants that grow you can say in poor soil, full of thorny bush, you can say here thorny bushes and so on. Okay, brown furs, maybe you can say only bush or you can say full of thorny bush, anything. He says anything. Even you can say it is a barren land. I want only barren land, 1 acre of barren land. If someone gives me 1 acre of barren land, I will give 1,000 you can say here furlongs on the ocean. 1 furlong equal to almost 1 mile, less than 1 mile. The wills above be done. So the wills, whatever I have, you can say, wished, whatever you can say is my will, that I will give 1,000 furlongs on the ocean for 1 acre of land. That will be done if someone gives me 1 acre of land, you can say, on the mainland. But I would fain die a dry death. He says, but I wish or I would like to die, you can say. I would like to die a dry death. Dry death means I would like to die, you can say, on the land. Not you can say here on the ocean where you can say our ship will be wrecked and we will be drowned. So I wish to die, you can say, on the dry land. Exit, leave the stage and the curtain falls down. Now see, we are going to start here Act 1, Scene 2. See, I will explain to you in brief what you have, you can say, in Act 1, Scene 2. See here, the scene can be divided into 3 main parts. This scene can be divided, you can say, into 3 main parts. First one is Prospero's tale to Miranda. Prospero's tale to Miranda, that is Prospero's story, okay, to Miranda, details. And that you can say you have how Prospero and Miranda, when she was in Milan, she was only 3 or 4 years old. She was a small baby. And Prospero, he was busy with, of course, books of magic, black magic, metaphysics. Metaphysics you have study, you can say, about supernatural power. So how they were, you can say, how Prospero was engaged, you can say, with reading books. His entire time was engrossed. Engrossed means taken away in his studies, in his library. So that time Miranda was only 3 or 4 years old, and Antonio was made, you can say, Duke in charge of Milan only for a certain period till Prospero studies books of magic, and he becomes very good, you can say, at magic. Till that time only Antonio will be the Duke of Milan. Okay, during this time when Prospero was busy, you can say, with his studies, you can say, studies of magic, he was busy with reading books of magic. That time Antonio, he of course conspired, okay, he requested Alonso, the king of Naples, to give him some muscle power, some, you can say, forces, private forces, to force Prospero to leave Milan, or you can say just he will, once Prospero, you can say, leaves Milan, then you can say he will become, the full Duke of Milan. So he made, you can say, alliance, he made, you can say, of course, a friendship, you can say, or other, you can say, alliance, you can say, with Alonso, and for that, for Alonso's help, he was giving tribute, money, once in a year, and respect to Alonso. Antonio will give money, tribute, he will pay tribute to Alonso as well as respect, and so on. Alright. And then how Prospero was forced, Prospero and Miranda, they were forced to leave Milan in the middle of the night. And then they were taken by ship many miles in the ocean. And then you can say they were forced, then Prospero was forced to get down, you can say, in a fragile boat, in a weak boat, and left in the lurch. Okay, whether they survive or they die, it was left, you can say here, they were left in the lurch, depends upon their fate. So wind pushed, you can say, the boat in one direction, and that boat came to the, you can say here, island, to the seashore, and there they landed. That is, you can say, story for this one. Prospero's tale, you can say, to Miranda. Okay. Other things are also there. Antonio started thinking himself that, okay, he is the right Duke of Milan, and he did not, you can say, think about Prospero. He thought my elder brother Prospero is not interested, you can say, in politics, not interested, you can say, in dominating the, you can say, of course, country, Milan. So he, of course, considered himself, or he made himself the full Duke of Milan. So all these things we shall see. So this is, you can see here, this is the story told by Prospero, okay, to Miranda. Now see here, second point, the introductions of Ariel and Caliban. Here in this scene we are going to see how Ariel, you can say, is introduced. Ariel was, of course, you can say, on that land, on that island, before Prospero came there. Ariel, you can say, is a delicate spirit. As I told you, Ariel can change, you can say, its shape. It can become water, it can become fire, it can fly in the sky, it can go inside the earth, it can go inside the water, it can become, okay, different fires at different places at the same time, okay. He will go inside different places. He can do any kind of task, any impossible task, and so on. And Caliban, you can say, is the son of Sycorax, one witch who practices black magic. She is from, you can say, here, Algeria. She is from Algeria. She was practicing black magic on people, and she killed many people, or they met with an accident and they died. So she became, you can say, witch, well-known witch, and she was just exiled from that country, Algeria, and she was brought to that island by people, you can say, of Algeria, and she was, of course, supposed to get down on that island. And when she came, she was pregnant, and she gave birth to a child called Caliban. Caliban, you can say, is a half fish and half savage. Okay, he cannot utter, you can say, a single word, because on that island no human being except, you can say, his mother. So he cannot, you can say, speak anything. Whatever he speaks doesn't make any sense. All right. So when Prospero came, then Ariel was, of course, restricted, or you can say he was, confined. He was confined, you can say, in a tree. Here, oak tree, pine oak tree. It was not wide open, and you can say he was, of course, restricted, made, you can say, prisoner in that, you can say, tree, in that oak tree. It was done by Sycorax, that witch, because Ariel was not doing what Sycorax, Caliban's mother, was telling Ariel. Okay, so Ariel was, of course, made, you can say, prisoner in that cloven pine tree. Okay, now see here. The initial meeting of Ferdinand and Miranda, and when the ship wrecked, you can say, they landed, you can say, on the island, on the Prospero's island. But they were, you can say, here, made, okay, three groups. They were kept, you can say, in three groups, and they landed, you can say, in three groups. Ferdinand, you can say, landed on the island alone. And when he landed on the island, of course, first he saw was Miranda. And Miranda, you can say, looked at Ferdinand, Ferdinand looked at Miranda, and both of them fell, you can say, in love at first sight. Okay. Ferdinand is Alonso's son. The first two provide, you can say, flashback to previous events. The first 2 points, Prospero's stay to Miranda, and the introductions of Ariel and Caliban, provide, you can say, flashback background to previous events by explaining how the play's current situation came to be. Okay, that is flashback, and then you can say, after that, events explaining, previous events explaining how the play's current situations, that, okay, how they, all of them came on the island, came to be. While the third provides the first contact, third point, the initial meeting of Ferdinand and Miranda, provides the first contact between the young couple. And here, you can say, provides the young couple, contact between the young couple, that will form the play's romantic interest, and that will form the play's, you can say, a romantic interest. That is, you can say, one of the scenes. I have told you there are, you can say, 3 points. First one, you can say, young generation, Ferdinand and Miranda. They looked at each other and they fell in love with each other, and they love passionately, deeply. They love each other. Okay, and then you have here forgiveness. Prospero forgives Alonso, Sebastian, Antonio, and Gonzalo. Of course, you can say he welcomes always, because he can say he is an old counselor, he is an honest man, he is an honest old counselor. to Prospero. Now you can say he is with Alonso because of, you can say here, Alonso's daughter, Claribel, got married to, you can say, the king of Tunis. Okay, so here there is one, when we were coming back, the ship was returning, and on the way, Prospero got, you can say, an opportunity to raise the storm with the help of Ariel and make them, you can say, land on the islands and then ask forgiveness. And of course, ultimately, they, you can say, agreed to live, you can say, a life of, you can say, of course, a bright life, you can say, good life, and be repentant, repent for what they have done wrong. Then, okay, then they knelt down and they prayed to, you can say, Prospero. Then Prospero forgave them. And after forgiveness, reconciliation. Once again, they became friends. Reconciliation means after fighting, after, you can say, getting problem, they became, you can say, friends. And okay, Ferdinand and Miranda, they got married. They had to go from that island to Naples, and in Naples they got married. Here, Ferdinand and Miranda got married, and after marriage, Prospero comes back to Milan, and there he got back to his dukedom, and when he gets back his dukedom, he decides to stay there, and then play ends. So, for today only this much. We shall see it tomorrow. Alright, till then, okay, bye.